Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Friday, June 12th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Television Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website, www.gbn.gd, those of you watching on GBN channel 7, 11 or 20, and those of you listening on Classic 105 and Hot 98. It's Open Line Friday here on To The Point, 435-2041. That's the landline number. Call and share with us anything happening in your community, anything you think we need to be made aware of. If you have comments, questions, queries, concerns, now's the time to share. You can also call us on the, no, not call us, but contact us on the WhatsApp. Please, only written messages on the WhatsApp. Only written messages on the WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no voice notes, no links, no YouTube links, no, only written messages, please. That's the short of the story. Only written messages on the platform. You can also pose your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the other platforms, the GBN Television Facebook page or the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first phone call. Good morning.
Yes, my dear. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Jermel.
Yes, not too bad. I'm not reading specifically this morning, but I would like to say something to our young women in Grenada. Well, young people, both men and women, young people. You know, sometimes when you walk the road or you're in a certain area, you look at the attitude and the behavior and the mode of dress of some of our young people. And it makes you sad because it does show that a lot of our young people are growing up godless. No regard for anything that is godly. And when you try to talk to them, some of them could be polite and they listen, but you can see they don't want to hear what you're saying. But I want to say to young people, you did not come out from the sky and drop down on the earth. You were brought here by God. And regardless of what you do in your life, you have to face God one day. If you don't face him on the earth, you're going to face him in the other side of life. Because you are a human being, you have a body, but you, the real you, is not your body. Your real you is the spirit in you. And it cannot die. It's going to meet somewhere. It's going to face God. And you will have to give God an account for what you did on earth while you live on the earth. And it is important that parents train and teach their children about God. They need to know their Creator. Because you have a soul that is lost, and that soul have to either go to heaven or hell. When you leave the earth, you don't stay in the grave. Your body don't stay in the grave. If they cremate you, the ashes would, it would be just ashes. It will be, God will be taking it up when He's ready to put you back in it. But you are a spirit, and that spirit needs to be saved. The soul needs to be saved. And if you live without God and you die, you would regret every moment you were on the earth. So I want to advise the young people, get to know God. Get to know God. Find out, question. Ask your parents about God. What is it if I don't know God? What happened to me? So you need to give your life to Christ. You need to know that you are a spirit and you need to be saved, because after death there is a judgment and you have to face God, and there is a heaven and there is a hell. Whether people choose to believe it, accept it, reject it or not, the reality is what God says in His word is truth and it is reality, and if people don't want it, that's their choice. But I'm advising young people, start seeking God. Even though you don't go to a church, you have all kind of YouTube channels that where you could get gospel messages, you could hear about the things of God. Get to know God. Because we are nearing the end of the age, and those who do not know God are going to perish. The Bible says that in John 3:16. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So if you don't know Him, you cannot believe in Him. And when you die, you're going to perish. But if you trust Him, you will have everlasting life. God bless all your youth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. All right, Blossie, have a blessed day.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. You do the same. Thank you very much. Let me see what's on the social media before the landlines start ringing again. There is a question. No, before I get to the question, somebody messaged me this morning seeking a number for law enforcement because they received word, or I'm not sure if they were a victim as well, but there is a gentleman going around taking money from people under false pretense. That was the message that was sent this morning. So I just thought I'd share it with our viewers and listeners, to those of you who may be receiving visitors in your home, although we shouldn't be having visitors, but just in case, whether it's a phone call or physically, be mindful that there are unscrupulous people around the place who are taking advantage of people's vulnerability. So please be mindful of that. There is somebody going around. According to the writer, the report that the person wanted to make was for the Grand Dance area. That's in the south of the island, but you never know where this person could get. They could be in Grand Dance today and Satés tomorrow, God willing. So please be mindful. Please be cautious. Please be very careful for people who may be coming seeking financial support or telling you they're with a specific organization. Verify before handing over money or other important documentation, because you just never know. The things that they see on TV and in movies, they may just want to try it here home. So just please be careful. To everybody, please be careful. Not just Grand Dance, around the island, please be careful. There was another. Let me go back by the phone lines before I get to the comment. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fairly all right.
Nice.
I'm glad that you're good.
Yes.
Because you'd be well. Your emotion would be right at this time because you're good.
You're telling me you're deep. Go ahead.
Anyhow, are you finding this world? I'm not talking only about Grenada, you know. People preach. When I say preach, don't believe I'm talking about the preachers, the religious preachers, you know. People preach, and they preach things, and they do not preach what they mean. In other words, they do not act out what they mean. So when they do that, do they expect people to take example from them? Now, as far as I'm concerned, for you to be a good preacher in anything, you have to be a good example. You mustn't say, grow what you eat and eat what you grow, and you're not growing, maybe you thief in. So nobody would obey you. You can't say that you love one another if you don't love your neighbors and even love people. I cannot see how some people are somewhat involved in religious belief. And they said, honor thy father and thy mother, and you must not steal. And yet for all, some of these people and them, they want the best car, the best houses, and all the ladies possible in the church. You've seen it all about. You've seen it somewhat in the schools, in the workplace, in the different workplaces. In fact, look at even now. We are hearing that the NIS people did not get all the names of the people that they're supposed to get. Yet for all, people are paying tax, they're taking out their dues then in the hotels and in the other workplace, the firms and so on. And yet for all know that they have to get something, and it is showing up that they never paid. Is this honesty? And this is what people are preaching. They are preaching honesty, and they are not honest. That is why perhaps we are being somewhat punished. And I say we because I'm not exceptional with this virus. And they have to tell me that God is in control. Well, if he's in control, and listen to my words, you know, it's possible he that placed in us, in that us. When I say us, I don't mean you and I. In the whole world, in that particular situation, for we to learn. Now I'm looking into Grenada. People said they are gifted, and government, the leader put them in certain position. Yet for all, he alone has to guide the country. Why? And these people said they are gifted. They have the potential, they have the skill, they have the knowledge, and the other things. And it baffles me. Look, we have a law that in the Grenada, you should wear masks, especially in public. Yet for all, those who have to carry out the laws are not putting it into force. They said that we have to pay $500 if you found without a mask, why don't you put it and let, in other words, I know maybe you live long enough, but I don't live long enough, although I'm old. I want to live longer. They want to contaminate me. And if I hate, because I'm scared, but these young people are now not scared. It's time that the authorities, whoever the authorities, should do what they so. Get them scared so that they put on a mask.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for that contribution. Good morning. The border is closed. Why are we allowing yachts to enter the country? Why are they allowing the yachties to return to their yachts for quarantine, and yet nationals and visitors who have their homes or places to stay must be quarantined at their own expense? What is the government doing? Could we look at this as a form of racism? I don't personally look at it as a form of racism. And being quarantined on your yachts is also at your own expense. There are rules and regulations in place for the yachties who have to be quarantined on their own yachts. And it is, I guess, easier to control the yachties because, one, they have monitoring, and from experience, we cannot 100% trust that the folks who should be in quarantine would remain in quarantine. The yachties are different. They're not on land. And if they have to dock, there are rules in place for that. So I guess it's easier to control the yachties being quarantined on their yachts as compared to nationals being quarantined at their homes. That's how I see it. But no, I don't see it as a form of racism. Good morning.
Morning, Sister Blossom. How are you?
Morning, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Morning, Miss, what's her name? Miss Jeremiah?
Miss Jeremiah.
Miss Jeremiah, make me laugh. Knowledge is power. Let's leave it at that. A few years ago, well, a little while now, over 15 years ago, I came from Toronto, and I didn't know there is a law in Grenada that you cannot with camouflage in the country. I didn't know that because I just came into the country. I went by a friend down in Grenfell. So as I reached in his yard, a whole set of, I think, a CID men with gun in my head, put me down on the ground and remove my camouflage pants on me. Well, right now, I want to know if the lie is still in Grenada, because I realize plenty of people are just wearing camouflage all over the place. A few years ago, out on the western side, I think the brother, I think he's European or North American, he was treated very, disrespect. Camouflage was taken away from him. And now I've seen people is wearing camouflage all over the place. People is going out in the Grenville, passing right in front of the police station with their camouflage. So I really want to know if that lie is still around, because as I say, I was treated very rudely, So I really want to know what is going on. One day I have to call the Prime Minister, Minister of Security, and ask him if that lie is still around, because that was totally disrespect, So anyway, let me look at something else. Nawasa. I don't understand why Nawasa is saying that they want to estimate people bills. I don't understand that. And there is a device that is collecting the data, so I don't understand why they don't come and read the meter and bill people, because I heard a young lady was saying last week on some program that she really pay $60 a month, and now I send bill for nearly $200. The next woman was saying that she used to pay $100 and something dollars a month for water. Now I send over $500 in bill for her. I don't understand how you could estimate people water. Come and read your meter, because there is a device collecting your data. I don't understand what now I to even flow again. Everybody's complaining about, and you cannot see the manager. You don't know who is the boss of flow. I think once I see a white guy, I don't know if he's North American or European, and I try to flag down the van, to talk to the brother, because I don't understand what is going on with this utilities company. They just come into Grenada and just taking advantage on the people, and when you cannot get nobody to help you, you run there, and everybody just telling you they don't know who is the boss and they don't know who is this. I find this utilities company, they need competition. They need some other company should come into Grenada and give them some competition, because they are not treating the consumers fine. How they should be treated. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
so
yes,
anyway,
I do.
Blossom, you have a nice day.
Thanks, you do the same.
Okay, we're welcome. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much. The camouflage, as far as I am aware, the camouflage law is still in place. A few years ago, they were very strict with ensuring members of the public adhere to the law. I am not sure if they're being a little lenient these days. I am not sure why they are not as strict with it as the past, but as I can tell you, as far as I am aware, the law is still in place. It's still in the books. With relation to NAWASA, the estimated bills came about because of the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. And NAWASA advised that because their meter readers cannot physically go out to read the meters because of the social distancing and the lockdown and so on and so forth, they were estimating the bills. However, from my understanding, in a conversation with a NAWASA employee, from my understanding, let me see if I can break it down. Okay, so if they are estimating your bill, and let's say they for the months of April and May, they estimate that you were using 50 gallons of water, and they say, okay, that's $200. I don't know the breakdown completely. I'm just throwing out figures. So for 50 gallons of water, let's say that's a $200 charge, and they send you the bill. However, when the meter readings resume, I think they're resuming this month, I believe. I'm not too sure. But whenever the meter reading resumes, and they read it and they realize that you have used less than they charged you for, it will be reflected, because then they would have the actual number. So they would know how much you used and how much you didn't. So if you were overcharged, it would just be a credit on your bill for future month or months. So it's not to say you pay them that $500, you overpay them $200, and they go ahead with future bills. It will be reflected in the bills once the meter reading starts. If they were overcharging you, it would just be a credit. If you just use, or from the new meter reading, they realize that they charge you for 50 and right now it's 54, they're going to charge you just for those 4 gallons of water that they didn't charge you for before. So it would balance out itself once the meter reading starts. Yes, I understand everybody does not have, as we say locally, the water toy amount of money that they have been guesstimating the bills at, but it would be reflected in your future bills once the meter readings resume. So never fear, it would work out itself. Hopefully that shed a little bit more light for those of you who may be a little bit confused. Hopefully. Let me know. Let me go back by the phone lines. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
The phone? Hold on.
Uh-huh.
That's better?
Yes, much better. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Now, Blossom, look at something carefully, right? Now, throughout history, right, we have to understand that we as a people, right, we have to understand certain basic things, right? Now, all what stood up for what is right and good, right? All what stood up against human, stand up for human justice, right? Stand up against brutality and injustice, was brutally murdered, right? Or systematic being put away systematically, right? And throughout history, as far as our memory could take us back, these things been going on, right? Okay, just recently, look at the apartheid system in South Africa. Well, I just kind of stretching it a bit, right? These people, it's like they were deprived of to live. They were deprived to live, look at the brutality, look at the murderous action in Blossom, in Rhodesia, Rhodesia. Look at the bloodshed. Blood run in the street as water. Blossom, nobody answer for these things. I kind of we said in the songs, right? Nobody answer. Nobody been brought to justice for these things and what? So what justice are we talking about? Huh? In solidarity with the American people, with the blacks dead, they have to stand up for, stand up for the rights and stand up for something. But look at it. Look at the bigger picture of these things. What this life is really all about. we just, we cannot fortune it maybe in the Caribbean or in this part of the world that we enjoy a certain standard of living. I don't know if you want to call it decent or what, They call it that's what they afford us, and they make us feel that that's the best for us and everything. We glad for it. I glad for it, and all of us should think. But at the same time, according to the Bible, there's a great gulf that is fixed, And we have to understand what this thing is all about. This thing is not about no justice and no equality. This thing is more about control. Okay, it's between merely the have and the have not, right? And basically speaking, this is what it is. But and this thing about black and white, this is just a big camouflage to be able to rule the world, to control people, right? And this is what these things are. They're using the black and white thing as a big cover up to be able to control and to manipulate and to rule and to dominate. This is what it is. So we are, as the so-called black people, is like everything being focused on us.
Okay.
Around us then. So we have to understand what this thing is all about. All right, I don't really want to be too long.
Yes, you're over time already.
Yes, hold on. The thing about this thing is we as the so-called black people, we have to learn to band together and speak with one voice.
Okay.
And unless we do that, I don't think we get it anyway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your contribution. Let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back inside with some more of your comments, questions, queries, concerns. This is Open Line Friday on To The Point. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
welcome back to Open Line Friday here on To The Point. Let's go right back to the phone lines. Good morning.
This is a recording.
All right, we lost that caller. Let me go to the social media in the meantime. Most times there was no water, so why are they estimating it for more? I'm not sure. There was another Noasa comment before I go to this one. In these hard days, don't you realize that when we pay that extra money to Nawasa, they are holding our money and gaining interest? Gaining interest how? It's up to you. You can, in my view, you can pay the amount that you generally pay every month, whether it's $60, you pay the $60, and then when it balances out itself, you go back to, it's not worrying about it, or you can pay the extra $100 if you like, and know that next month, please a lot, that's one less bill you have to pay because that money day, as we say, inside. So it's up to you if you want to pay what's on the bill or you want to pay piece. Let's just hope for the best. Somebody else on the WhatsApp says, I am concerned about the pretty larceny situation in Grenada. I was in my land on Tuesday. By Thursday morning, the coconuts were picked out and bold enough to peel them in the land. Oh. See, that's disrespectful. No, that's disrespectful. That was definitely disrespectful. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning. How are you?
Dr. Bad, and you?
I'm good.
The problem is, Blossom, with this pity larceny. For instance, you catch a man stealing your produce. You do something to damage it. The police goes with you and he's set free. If he damages you, it's still the same. You get damaged, they kill you, and that man go to prison for about 2-3 years. Now, where the law is where actually law is for the farmers. You understand where I'm coming from? I know a man have 2 bunches of planting, and he went to cut it and all he saw was just the stem hanging down. Now, if he had got hold of that person and cut out the hand way the plant, like how the plant is cut down, the law will go with him. Surely. But if the man damaged him, the thief damaged the owner of the planting, what will happen? Nothing comes out of that. He make a 2 years in jail and the man lost his hand. The law just not fair. Thank you, Blossom.
Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. Thank you very much. Let me check the Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp. Let Mrs. Jeremiah know with regards to her comments on young girls, she is blaming the wrong group of people. She has to ask why are they doing what they are doing, and she will realize who is to blame. I happened to travel with public transportation on Wednesday and was shocked to realize I was the only passenger wearing a mask, although there were only 2 other passengers in the bus. Are we becoming too complacent? I hope this does not continue. I believe we are becoming complacent, and that is not the first comment I've heard about passengers in the public transportation in the buses not wearing masks. We're just complacent, and they are not heeding to the call, and they are putting other people's lives in danger as well as their own. I understand how shaky the public transportation system is considering the current impasse, but when I used to use buses, I would drop from a bus if I don't feel safe. If I feel like they're driving too fast, I tell the driver about it and he's not slowing down, I would drop. I don't pay the bus. So if you are in a bus and you feel uncomfortable because the passengers are not wearing masks, or the driver and conductor are not doing what they need to in terms of hand sanitizing and so on and so forth, personally, I would drop because I don't feel safe. Your duty is to carry me safely, and you're not ensuring that you do what you need to do to protect me, as well as ensuring that the other passengers adhere to the rules. So if the bus drivers are letting people without masks into their buses, that means they don't care for the other passengers who really want everybody to adhere to the rules and regulations. So drop. But like I said, I understand how shaky the thing is and you might not want to do that. But that's just what Blossom would do. Good morning.
Morning, Blossom.
Morning, Tanti.
Yeah, just want to say a few words for the police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the policemen, people ridicule them. They say all kind of wrong things about them. Remember when something happened, you call 911. Who are you calling? The police. They are there to serve, to protect, and help save lives. God has put these men on earth to do a job to help take care of his children on earth. Because if there is no law in the world, there is nobody in the world. They will just go around those crooks on them. They come into your home, they take all what you have, they steal you, and then they still take your life. Now, if they live your life for you, you will be able to walk again and put things where they come back and steal again. But they're not doing that. They're taking it and when they turn and they shoot you. So if the law is not on earth, we wouldn't have nobody in the world today. People just go around shooting down people. The world belongs to them. The world doesn't belong to man. It belongs to God. God made the world and he made us all and he offered us life to live in it. He said, have it abundantly, but live it for us. Live it for God. Remember, what men doing in the world today is not of God. The policemen are doing their work, and we can't down on them too much. So we must say something, pray for them, they do it in the right way, that they will save, protect, and help save lives. They're risking their lives. When they come and you call them, sometimes they're dead and you alive. You have your gun, you have to shoot, you will try to shoot someone, but don't shoot to kill, because you didn't give life, don't take. And the black and the white. God made two races in the world. He made black, he made white. We all are God's children. We must live as children of God. I think God made these two colors to see how we would live the life on. Because the white should not hate the black, and the black should not hate the white. We must live as children, love one another, help one another. I have some folk in the yard, they give me real ways. I don't know if you can hear me, but they're just crowing up in the yard. Anyway, white people must marry to black people marry to white. They make one to the children. God says love one another. We are God's children. We are not just black people. We have two things God put in the world, hate and love. Now, these three words, it's 8 words. Hate spell H-A-T-E, love spell L-O-V-E. There's the two words. Which one would you use, the love or the hate? Love is what God made. Love one another. Do what he has to love the people in the world. We all are God's children. We must live as children of God. Love one another. Help one another. Give to one another. What you have, you share. You don't really cute, right?
All right.
You have to talk about it to the police. Talk to them with something good. They are there to serve, to protect, and help save lives. Without them, we won't have nobody in the world.
All right.
All the lawmen, God bless them and let them do their work in the right way. And remember, there is a God who gave a job to do for his people and us.
Okay.
God bless you, darling.
Thank you, Tanti. Thank you very much. Yes, I was hearing your pets. Let's call them pets. YouTube. I am of the opinion that NWASA reasoned that with more people at home, that there are more people at home, so they would obviously use more water. People must learn to read the meter and call and give their readings. That's a good suggestion. We could maybe learn to read our meters ourselves and give them the readings, or maybe take a picture or video and submit an email. That could be a collaborative effort between NWASA and homeowners. If you are uncomfortable with the way they are guesstimating the bills, then maybe learn to read the meters yourselves and share with them. I am a worker who is at home as a direct result of the COVID-19. While at home, the company I worked for sent a message to us workers to come into a meeting at the main office with management. To our surprise, we were handed dismissal letters. I'm talking about workers who've been employed for over 10 years, 40 plus workers. I'm talking about Calivini Island. The boss offered us, the workers, 1 month's salary for all the years we've worked, and they're saying we can reapply for new positions in the future. Been to the Ministry of Labor, but to no avail. Up to now, none of us have received a dime since March. You can possibly try the NIS. As you said, it's a direct result of COVID-19. The NIS unemployment fund is available for folks who are unemployed directly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in the meantime, while you possibly wait on the Ministry of Labor to advise you on going forward in what may be a battle with the company, you can benefit from NIS's unemployment fund. What is the latest on the weather? And the latest on the weather, Grenada is being affected by a tropical wave. I believe it is directly upon us. From the reports that I've gotten this morning, most of the rain is falling in the northern part of the island, not so much in the south. We can expect some More water during the course of today into tomorrow, God willing. It would be cloudy according to the weather report this morning. So, yeah, tropical wave number 7. Tropical wave number 7, I believe, is still currently affecting Grenada. Oh, thank you, Naz. I just saw the link. Thank you, Nazim. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine. I have a suggestion for the authorities in terms of the transportation, the buses. I think that they should allow the bus to carry 3 persons to a seat. Because although what the law is now is that really you're supposed to carry 2 persons per seat. But I think there was a discussion where they wanted to allow 12, which means that there would already been 3 persons, 2 seats, So I think based on the present situation now, I think 3 persons to a seat should be allowed. The buses to carry that. And secondly, there's somebody who called this morning speaking about the camouflage. But a lot of people going around with camouflage, yes, but they are not similar to what we have here. So it's not just because it looks like a camouflage. The camouflage uniform in Grenada is designed a particular way. So if it's not designed that way, it is not an offense. So not just because you have the color and it look long or short, whatever. A man may have a short camouflage pants. We don't use short camouflage pants here, so it's not an offense. Or the pants may have cuts on it or whatever. So once it is not similar to what is in Grenada, it's not an offense. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks for shedding some light on the camouflage thingy, the camouflage issue. From Ms. Jeremiah, the person who says I am blaming the wrong person, please note I am not blaming anyone. It is from observation and talking to some of the young girls, especially. It is not about blaming. Please stop. Facebook. Calavini Island is about Ministry of Labor many years ago. Find out what happened one time when Labor went to the island to meet with the workers. What was the result? Then you'll understand. Really? What was the result? Let me know. No calls on the WhatsApp, please. There is no law for the farmers. Thank God I don't have land. We as Grenadians know that crop and animals only go together in one pot, not on the land. Well, I beg to differ. I went to... Okay, I'll read that one after this caller. Hold on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I don't want you to cut me out. So can you give me permission to say what I have to say?
Okay. Once you're within the time frame.
All right. When you recognize me, you know who is me. Anyhow, it hurts me to see that certain people are within a certain calling. Somebody spoke recently, and I know the calling. And possibly I'm talking now, then they have an idea about me. You're within an organization, and you have to maintain the law. Why not put this to the organization in which you live in as to what people are doing? In fact, a few weeks back, that particular person said that you mustn't wear masks except you not inside a building. That particular person has to carry out the orders of the government, which says that if somebody do not have a mask in public, that's the law now, that you could charge them $500. So there is some sort of a contradictory. Everybody has something to say. We must not even interpret what somebody says. We must understand the laws or understand the expression or what the person says, not interpret. Interpretation, everybody has a right to interpret according to his intelligence or lack of intelligence, how he or she wants. Because if I say strike, some people would say fight, and others may say well, shoot. It depends on the environment in which you are being trained, or what are you being trained in. And this is what people don't understand. People are telling us things, and we need, as I said, we have to live in accordance with the laws of God. In other words, all the command and the laws of nature, which is being made by us, the laws of the land. And this is how we could say we are educated. Sorry for pounding on the word education, because this is what is happening in the world. You should be able to live within your environment peacefully, happily, and this and that, and able to read the meter, and able to read the water meter, and the this. Then me would say possibly you're educated. You don't have to know every single thing, but basic things. So you have to have basic education. So something is wrong, maybe with whoever the authorities are. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, caller. Let me go right. I want to zero in once again. There's a road leading up to the hospital known as Bel-Air Road. It is an emergency road also used for entry and exit to the hospital. This road is in a dilapidated state and calls for serious attention. I watch some drivers on that road complain the concrete when passed on it moves. Plus, it's supposed to be a 2-traffic lane, but not because it's too narrow for 2 vehicles. I'm calling on the government, essentially the Minister for Karakou, to do her job. She is aware of the road. Karakou generates lots of money for Grenada. Why they have to be forgotten? Mr. Nimrod was there for over 20 years and nothing has been done to that road since 1995 facelift. Okay, so that's the road leading up to the hospital. Okay, so that's on the sister Isle of Karakou. That's Princess Royal Hospital. Okay. All right. Good morning.
Morning, Brussels.
Morning.
Your last caller, you talk about the man that say you shouldn't wear mask. At the time when the man said that was the law, you were not bound to wear the mask on the street unless you were in a line or going into a shop. But it's changed now. So he was right when he said that.
No, it's still in place?
Yes.
Wearing the mask is still in place, isn't it? The law?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But no, at the time, what you ain't talking about when the man say you weren't bound to wear it when you're walking the street.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, caller. Yes, it's still a part of law. They have been specific saying once you're in public space. I remember the argument we had a few weeks ago that the law only spoke about wearing the mask, the need for wearing masks if you're in a vehicle with somebody else or if you're in a line to go inside of a store. But they've since been specific saying once you leave home, once you're in public space, walking the road or so on, you should be wearing the masks. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Welsh.
Morning. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Now?
All right.
Yeah, I call him from Carriacou. I call him Miss Emlyn here to come and look at Tam CC. The school is old and falling into pieces. It is dilapidated. The school, for all the matter falling down, the school crack up. I see security there. Okay? And the door can't even close. When the wind blow, the roof going up and down. The school need to repair, but years now.
Hopefully it will be one of the areas that would be looked at under the new dispensation.
Oh God, I can't take it again. The school, the school falling down apart. The big crack with high drugs inside the school. I'm talking about no.
Thank you so much, caller.
All right.
Thank you, caller. I remember that complaint about the state of the building a few years ago, actually. And now with the the interim committee in place to oversee the affairs of the institution and with Minister Emmeline Pear at the helm of seeing that things are rectified at soonest. Hopefully the building in Karakou would be one of the items on the list for review and attention. Not review, for attention. Let's take another break and then we're going to come back and wrap up the program. This is To The Point, Open Line Friday. We'll be right back.
Greetings, everyone. I hope this message meets you and yours in the best of health as we join in encouraging all to act responsibly.
COVID-19 presents the most serious
and deadly challenge
any of us will experience in our lifetimes.
We must act now.
We need to keep the Caribbean safe.
We can all help to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Please stay at home.
So Caribbean people, please stay home.
Caribbean people, please stay at home.
Please stay home. It's that simple. This too shall pass. But for now, stay home.
Stay in your yard. Stay home, stay safe.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Welcome back to The Point. Let's go right back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I have a problem with Grenlec over a year now. We had owed them a little money and so on, and then we did pay. They cut off their electricity, and we did pay all that they required us to pay. But they kept a few $100 for security deposit. And it's over here now. We keep on paying. We never really owe since then. So I'd like to find out now what happened to my security deposit, what they kept. I'm not owing them, you know.
Oh, thank you very much, caller. I can't... I don't know how to respond because I am not sure. You would have to inquire of Grenlec themselves what they did or are doing with the security deposit. It is probably an insurance for just in case it happens again. Going off of what I know about security deposits for, let's say, rental of an apartment, it is usually given back to you once your lease with renting that apartment is over. Let's say you're moving out. So I'm not sure if Grenlec intends to hold it until maybe you cut your service with them, or I am not sure. Contact Grenlec and inquire of them what is happening or what has happened with your security deposit. Let me go back to the social media. Special congratulations to the Prime Minister and team for having considered benefits for the Royalton Hotel workers despite negligence by the management at the hotel. So to you, Prime Minister and team, for your kind gesture, thank you. We in Grenada know that we are planting our crops and we have to tie our animals, but we are so silly. We leave our animals loose. I will euthanize them. Euthanize them. That's what it is. Euthanize them. Let me go back to the phone lines. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Let me check the other platforms. Walking the road by yourself necessitates wearing a mask. A mask? Yes, it does. That is what is in the law. You never know who was in the space before you. They probably sneezed just before you walked into the space. Vehicles passing, they sneeze. The particles are in the air. Just better safe than sorry. Just wear the mask. Once you close your door and you're leaving home, mask it up. Or make a soca. Mask it up. All right. I happened to see a video with a young man from River Sally in St. Patrick firing a weapon in the crowd, also on the back of a car discharging that same weapon while people were cheering on, while he was carrying on, putting people's lives in danger. heard he was arrested and charged. I want to know why we Grenadians always like to follow what they see on YouTube in the big world. Don't we have a mind of our own? I was very upset to see some of us act so foolish. Follow fashion. That's the short of what you're saying. Follow fashion. We see things, we want to do it as well, and for some reason we figure everything we do needs to be on social media. No matter how silly or illegal what we're doing is, somebody has a phone recording it and putting it on social media for likes, and we're ending up in problems. We are sometimes, some of us are some silly bunches of people. That's the short of the story. Why do we always defend the government? Instead, you should take them to task and ask them to address the people's problem. Enough is enough. In relation to what precisely, writer? Address the people's problem? Which of the people's problem? That's the question. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well.
Nice.
Well, I get you in the right time. Well, I find the government is addressing our problem. Because, listen, Blossom, 4 months now, the country locked down and government meeting all the financial obligation towards the country is running. And let us not forget, for those of us, they say Grenadians have short memories. I don't believe that. But for just in case those of us who might have a short memory, we must not forget when this government took office in 2013. You know, that Grenada, economically and financially speaking, was in the cesspit. And today, 4 months after the country is closed and wages and salaries is being paid on time, in a timely manner, and our essential services has performed, beyond our expectation, Ms. Duncan, Blossom, we have done well. It's a testimony. And they're still giving out millions of dollars in a stimulus package. Some people who have to get the finance coming to slow, they get in VIX. But this is a testimony to the kind of prudent management that this government has demonstrated in terms of managing our affairs. And to those folks who have animals trespassing and destroying their crops, listen, guys, don't call the radio and burden us with this problem. You have your private land. Irresponsible people have animals coming and destroying your crops. If you does not have the belly, if you does not have the nerve to give them their last supper, then don't complain to us. Let them come and eat your vegetable. Have a pleasant weekend, and I thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your weekend as well, and thank you for your contribution. It is almost time to wrap up. Let me read the final comments. There was one on Facebook. I'm having a problem and I need the police to deal with it ASAP. Busmen still taking increase. I took a bus from Tivoli to Grenville and the conductor took $3. Report them to the police. Saying you want the police to intervene is one thing, but if they do not have the reports that it's happening, then they wouldn't know they need to act. So if you haven't already, next time I suggest taking the license plate number, the details of the bus, the color of the bus maybe, and the license plate, and let the make a formal report to the police station and let them know that it is happening so that they would look into the situation. All right. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the WhatsApp. Actually, there was a comment on how they call it as well. On YouTube, Ms. Jeremiah, take out a comment. I was about to read the comment about the Grenlec to explain. All right. Flow Nawasa stimulus package. Oh, so what you want the government to address is the utility companies, the stimulus package, bus drivers, etc. Okay. I believe they have been doing that. Maybe not all at the same time, but they have been doing that. Okay, that is the end of this morning's program. Hold on. Many callers are not asking the questions of the moderator nor of GBN. They are using their media to direct their questions to the relevant authorities. Then I suggest calling the relevant authorities directly, because you're calling here, but we can't guarantee that either one of them is listening to the program. The call is one who benefit from the administration. He runs a security firm which made money, so I don't expect anything from him. Okay. All right. I think I saw that person's name in connection with something else. All right. So that is the end of the program. Just wanted to ensure that I had all to get in touch with reality and start accepting debit card payments. Make the formal complaint to NOASA. Thank you guys so much for participating this morning. That's the end of my time for today, for the week actually. I'll be back with you Monday, God willing. Have yourselves a peaceful, productive, healthy weekend. Stay safe. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz. He'll take you to midday. Have yourselves a good one. Be safe. Wear your masks. Use your hand sanitizers. Walk with your gloves. And just ensure that we stay COVID-19 free. We still have one active case. And let's ensure that that person recovers and we are at zero until forever. Amen. Have yourselves a good Friday, everybody. Bye.